Good morning. Good morning. My name is Brian. It's a joy to serve as your bishop. And y'all do a really good job of doing church here at St. Paul's. I'm meeting Christian where's Christian? Where is he? Don't quit now. Meeting Christian for the first time this morning. Christian, thank you for joining this community. I was at the early liturgy, standing at the altar, and realizing all the clergy to my left and to my right, in many ways, are relatively new to the life of this parish, relatively, since I've been here as your bishop. And so a place that's experienced a lot of change and transition, and it's really a place that just keeps going from strength to strength. So thank you for who you are in this community. For the people who are going to be baptized or received or confirmed today, thank you for your connection to this place. You are putting down roots in a good place. Hey, you. Hey. Is that Nola? Hey, Nola, I'm going to talk to you later, okay, in the back for the baptism. And what a good place you are, and I'm grateful for you and your support of the Episcopal Witness in Chattanooga and throughout this diocese. When I come to a church for visitation, when you take up the offering, typically what they say called the loose plate offering, typically goes home with me for my discretionary fund. From that, I can write checks for various causes in East Tennessee and beyond. But I think I said earlier to your staff, I would like the loose plate offering today to stay here, to stay with Bridge Refugee Services. We continue to be called to be a people who care for the refugee. Public policy comes and goes, but our call to care for the refugee does not change. All the more right now, we might have to double down in our care of those who are here as refugees. So please be generous. Give them all your money and support them and pray for them. Because we are all strangers and all have been made friends through the love of Jesus and the grace of God. Again, it is a joy to be with you and to be a part of you this day. This day, February 2nd, Christian communities celebrate this day as a day of light. We read a gospel lesson which reminds us Jesus was and is and will forevermore be a source of life-giving light in a world that forever dances too close to the dark. Our world has too many who are suffering and hurting and afflicted among us now, and yet we celebrate the light of Christ today. To be clear, let me go ahead and get this out. We do not celebrate the light as a people who are indifferent to all the places of pain in the world. The light of Christ is not something we protect in a sheltered and sacred space where it remains kept from the view of those who are hurting. The light of Christ longs to be forever taken into the world. When we take seriously the call of Christ to be light in a broken world, we discover something remarkable. When you and I arrive at those broken places with the songs of Christ's light on our lips, we discover we're not singing alone. There are already pilgrims there in those places where we might be tempted to believe Christ is not present. I used to believe there was such a thing as a God-forsaken place. I no longer believe that. God is always with us, even if we're not there. Now, in this gospel lesson, the baby Jesus is brought to the temple by Mary and Joseph, who come prepared to offer thanksgiving for their firstborn. And the gift they're going to offer, it's a gift of a poor family. Now, while they are a poor family, Mary and Joseph's son has already been a cause for great celebration in St. Luke's gospel. Just the very promise of his life has caused his mother Mary and Uncle Zechariah to break out into song. Now, Mary and Joseph and Jesus encounter Simeon. We're told that Simeon is devout and righteous. I think we also understand that Simeon must have been patient. For some time, Simeon had lived with the promise that he would not die until he saw the Lord's Messiah, God's light, the promise of Israel. Simon had waited for this promise. As he waited for the birth of the child, I imagine a song was growing inside of Simeon. The words that we know as the Song of Simeon are words woven together from the prophet Isaiah and from the Psalms. It's a song about endings, and it's a song about beginnings. It's a song that promises rest to Simeon, who no longer must wait, for he has now met the Christ child. And friends, he knows it in his bones. It's also a song about the beginning of what the world will come to see in Jesus. That song says he will be a light for all. Simeon's song is a declaration that all are invited to know the light of Christ. While this song is first sung by Simeon, just as he does not grasp onto that child forever but returns Jesus to his parents with the blessing, so Simeon has also given away this song. For centuries, Christians have sung Simeon's song. We sang it this morning. We sing it in services of evening prayer and in Compline. As we sing it, we ask to be guided during our waking hours and guarded during our sleeping hours. As Simeon is now able to rest in the completion of his life, so you and I are invited to rest each night, fully reminded that the light does not rest, even if we do, and when we do. So that's Simeon, right? Simeon had a song. Somebody was there to write it down. Got it into the prayer book in the Bible. That's a great accomplishment. Then there is Anna. I'm going to talk to you about Anna for a second. You see, Anna had waited too. Unlike Simeon, Anna had waited by sitting down in the temple and pretty much staying put. With her husband long dead, Anna had taken up residence in the temple. Now, some folks might have thought her odd. She prayed, she worshiped, she fasted, she waited, she grew old. And then in this gospel lesson, Anna saw Jesus. And if you read the gospel lesson or if you heard Deacon Beth read it, Anna also broke into song. But in many ways, you and I cannot go home this evening and recite it as we prepare for sleep. We cannot leave our worship this morning with Anna's words of praise on our lips. Apparently, those words are lost to us. That song only found a home in the temple walls and for those who heard it. You feel the tension rising in the room right now? Don't believe that about Anna. I think we have both songs here this morning. It's simply easier to sing Simeon's. For Simeon, we have the words. And the church has had those words for centuries. And many have taken those words of Simeon and set them to music. And many have taken Simeon's words of God's promise and held them close when God's promise seemed to fade in our world. When the light seemed to dim, Simeon's words reminded us the light was still here. Thank God for Simeon. But what about Anna? What about her song that seemingly failed to have a scribe to collect? Surely her words, her song is somewhere here this morning. You see, the light of Christ is present, and when the Christ is present, we find ourselves moved as Anna was moved. We're moved to tears or to joy, or to reciting the poetry and the songs of the ancient ones, the desert mothers and the desert fathers, the saints of long ago and the saints of here and now, or we find ourselves with new songs that are written on our lips in the moment. You ever been to West Memphis, Arkansas? Don't be afraid. Raise your hand. You ever been to West Memphis, Arkansas? So I grew up in the Boot Hill, Missouri, and to get to Memphis, you had to go through West Memphis, Arkansas, and it was a tough place, we thought, and they had a dog track there and lots of opportunity for sin. kind of imagine that Anna maybe was from West Memphis, Arkansas. And I know, don't get technical. I'm just imagining that she's from West Memphis, Arkansas, okay? And I'm imagining that Anna was a blues singer. And I'm imagining a song filled with deep emotion and the witness of a full, rich life, and this kind of songs you don't write down, right? I'm going to talk to the choir here for a second. Choir, I'm aware that you all sing a lot of songs that are written down, right? You ever sung a song that wasn't written down? You have, right? Come on now. Thank you. That's the choir, y'all. They're here all week. Some songs, you just have to be there. Sometimes you just have to be in the room when the song was sung. And you don't even want to write it down. Don't write it down. Don't take a picture. Don't record it. Just listen. I'm proud to be a part of a Christian tradition that says sometimes we write the words down, we pass the words along, we keep saying the same words, we sing the words. That's great. We need the Song of Simeon. But sometimes you just got to be in the room when Anna breaks into song and those West Memphis blues make it all the way to the Middle East. And the Gospel of Luke sort of turns into a juke joint. And she is conveying to you in the moment what the sister is hearing and seeing and feeling in that child. She's giving praise. She is singing the blues. She is moaning the blues because Jesus, just like Ed said, Jesus has seen what we have seen. He has been where we have been. He's been to West Memphis and all of West Tennessee and all of Arkansas. He's been wherever you need him to show up in joy and pain and uncertainty and doubt. And now and in the future, he has been there. That's the power of this morning. So much of this morning, the words have been written down. So if you're being confirmed or received or baptized, you don't have to make it up. We're just going to give you the words, and you're going to offer those words back to us. Those words are going to have deep, deep meaning because they're going to come from you. But today also, there'll probably be some words that nobody wrote down. There's going to be some gesture, something said. No one's going to write it down. It's going to be like Anna's song. In the moment, it's going to touch something in you and touch something in the other person. Those are also the songs of the church. We need all of those songs. The written down and the songs of the moment. So friends, Simeon has sung his song, and Anna has sung her song. Now it's time for you and me to sing our song, to offer our songs to each other. Songs for this moment, for this time. In the life of the church for this moment and this time, not to undo us or to cause us to be afraid, but to clarify who we are, to reach down deep, to allow the presence of Jesus to touch all of us, and for all of us to offer song together. Amen.